Are you stuck in that horrible loop where you sleep for 8, 9, maybe even 10 hours every single day yet still feel so disgusting and sluggish? Well, I don't. I've fixed the issue, and now today I want to propose to you my personal solution on how I managed to fix my sleep and go from this sluggish, horrible man who couldn't even sleep well or wake up well to somebody so strong, powerful and competent. Now I conquer the day with just sheer confidence and endless energy, really. And I'm not trying to waste any of your time today, so I'm going to get straight into the first point. The first thing I would like you to do is sleep in as dark of an environment as possible. If your blind's shut down but the lamppost still shines into your room, or the light from underneath your door shines into your room, try and find a way to stop that light from even coming into your room in the first place. Try and find a way to reflect the light away from your room so you can have as much darkness as possible. Humans are used to sleeping in solitude and darkness. Maybe not solitude, but darkness, certainly. Silence and darkness. And therefore, when you have all of this random light that acts as noise inside of your head, it actually increases your cortisol. If there's ever a random flash, it will increase your cortisol and it will almost make you nearly jolt awake. So therefore, if you're sleeping with loads and loads of lights on, no wonder you're getting shit sleep. Your cortisol's staying consistently here, whereas when I sleep with zero light in my room, it's staying consistently here. Do you understand the difference in between this? I know there's not a graph and a demographic, but you can see the difference in between here cortisol, which is good, and here cortisol, which is not very good. So imagine these people who fall asleep on the screens every single day. They're watching TikTok, right, and they fall asleep, and TikTok's on, creating noise in the background and consistently shining lights or whatever shit they're watching, like flashing lights, for hours and hours into your subconscious. Even though your eyes are shut, you still see like the flashing lights. For example, have you been in a car going past the trees and the light consistently is going, even when you close your eyes, it's still creating like a red and then a black, a red and then a black. It's the same shit here. Your eyes are shut, but the light will still shine into your eyes again and again and again. Your sleep's going to be shit and no wonder you feel horrible. That's just the blunt and honest truth. So the first step is find a way to minimize how much light is in your room. Now the second step isn't actually going to be sound, no, because I briefly touched up on that as well. The quieter the better. But for some people who live in a city, you'd rather have one consistent background noise as an anchor for your sleep than 10,000 different honks and horns and revs of engines. So I'm not going to talk about sound in today's video, but the second one I'm going to talk about is instead you need to be sleeping in a cooler environment. Instead of it being 28 degrees Celsius, and I know it's difficult because it's the summertime, or at least here in the UK it is, but you need to make your room as cool as possible. Now, I'm not telling you to have the windows wide open and have a wasp fly in before you're about to go to bed, like I had. I told a story about it, I'll link it in the description below, it's quite funny. But I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm telling you to do instead is make sure your room is not 30 degrees Celsius and cooking you as you try to sleep slowly, sous videing you as you sit there in your sheets sweating uncomfortably. You know the hot nights I'm on about, the ones where you sit there restlessly because you can't get to sleep. You're so hot, you're sweating just laying there, doing nothing. You'd be less hot going on a run. You'd be less hot doing push-ups in your room or burpees or shadow boxing the demons. So you know the evening I'm talking about, that horrible evening. You wake up in the morning and you stink. Even though you had a shower last night, you could have another one because you smell that bad. That's the extremities heat takes you to. And therefore you need to try and find a way to minimize how much your room is hot. There's an optimal temperature range. It's in between 16 and 18 degrees Celsius, which is about 61 to 65 Fahrenheit. You could say about 60 to 65. Now, I'm not saying it has to be between these values perfectly. If it's a little bit less, that's okay. If it's a little bit more, maybe up to like 20 Celsius, which is about 68, you can get away with that. That's okay. You can get away with about 68 to 55. Let's just say that's the range. But the optimal range is somewhere in the middle. If you can get perfectly between that, you'll sleep really well, especially with the darkness now you already have. Not the semi-darkness, the full darkness and the full coolness. The cooler you are, probably the better. Because you can heat up when you're in bed. You easily heat up. You move about, you probably jiggle about in your sleep or something. You probably move a lot and create lots of heat anyway. So the cooler it is, the better, is my point. The third step I'm going to tell you is to develop a circadian rhythm. I've talked about this many times before, but for those of you who have never heard of what a circadian rhythm is, it's a bodily system that knows when it's time to go to bed and time to wake up due to routine and pattern. Basically, it's like an internal clock that tells you, oh, it's time to sleep, oh, it's time to wake up. And that's how people can wake up without alarms at, say, 6 a.m. They can go to bed at 10, wake up at 6 every single day. as long as they go to bed at 10. If they go to bed at 10:30, maybe they'll wake up at 6:30 instead. That's the sort of system it is inside of your body. It's a systematical thing inside of your subconscious mind that keeps you awake at the right time every single day. Now, to start with, you're not going to be able to do that. And therefore, what I'm going to suggest to you is you try and find a 15-minute window where you are in bed, non-negotiable. Whether this be between 10:30 and 10:45, 11 and 11:15, I don't know, 9 and 9:15, whatever the time is. Try and find a 15-minute window. Or even 9:20 to 9:35. You need to find this 15-minute window, and you go to bed every single time at that time. And then let's say you want to sleep from 9:30 to 5:30. You wake up, you have an alarm set for 5:30. And you're in bed at like 9:30, you go to wake up at 5:30. And then this body gets used to exactly this. You go to bed now, you wake up now. It pre-makes you tired here, and then it pre-wakes you up here. After long exposure and repetition to the circadian rhythm. To the point where you just wake up at 5:30 without your alarm. You wake up at 5:25, you go to bed 5 minutes earlier. That's the circadian rhythm that you want to build. This improves your sleep so much because it gets your body used to it. Your body has a system that it works to. If I'm at bed at 10 o'clock, guess what? My body already knows to replenish my cells in that at 10 o'clock. It knows to heal my body at 10 o'clock. If I'm still awake at 10, it'll be ready to, and then I'm still awake and it'll be like, what the heck? And then it won't do as well tonight. Do you understand where I'm getting at? Basically, in order to aid your muscle growth and recovery, in order to build more hormones, you should be going to bed at roughly the same time every night, waking up roughly the same time every morning. And therefore, you'll become stronger and your body will get used to it better, so it'll become more adapted to it. It'll be able to go quicker. It'll be able to go way quicker. Guaranteed. I promise you, if you do those 3 steps, you'll already be increasing your muscle mass, already be increasing your testosterone and your other important hormones, and your life will already be looking so much better because you'll already feel fantastic. But this 4th and final tip is semi-secret. That's why I've left it for the end of the video. Treat this like an unfiltered section, like a secret section to the video that 99% of people won't make it to, because I guarantee they won't. The 4th piece of advice I give you is very, very secret. It all comes down to this magical thing called sleeping efficiency. Efficiency, you said that in the title though. Yeah, I did, but it goes a little bit deeper. Sleeping efficiency is how much your body does when you sleep. Or like per hour, how efficient is your sleep? How good quality is your sleep? Some people have worse efficiency, some people have better efficiency. If you're somebody with an 80% efficiency, you should not sleep 8 hours, you should sleep more hours. Because 80% efficiency for 8 hours is the equivalent of 6.4 hours of recovery. Basic maths. Whereas, if you slept for 10 hours with 80% efficiency, do the maths. 0.8 times 10 is 8. And you have 8 hours, the full 8 hours that are recommended, of perfect recovery. And that's the best way I can describe it, I think. You have efficiency, which is just how good quality your sleep is. And that will like accumulate to good hours of recovery and then just hours of like, almost like, okay, let me describe it to you a different way. If I had 8 hours to watch YouTube, and I watched YouTube for 6.4 hours, and the other 1.6, I'm sitting there staring at a wall, or watching ads. You understand, I'm not getting the full 8 hours of watching YouTube. Instead, I'm getting distracted by this and that. That's what your sleep's like, and that's what I mean by sleep efficiency. It's like, if you just wake up, and you need to do push-ups, you do push-ups for like 10 minutes, and then you go scroll for 2 minutes. Your efficiency is 86%. You can't sit there and say, I did push-ups for 12 minutes because you only did it for 10. Do you understand? Yeah, you can say you slept for 8 hours, but in reality, if your efficiency is only 90%, you didn't sleep for 8 hours properly, with recovery and all of the hormone production. You slept for 7.2. And in order to increase your efficiency, of course, these things are going to help, but as well, sleeping longer. Sleep longer. Sleep a little bit longer. Maybe in the summer, you sleep closer to 7 hours, and in the winter, you sleep closer to 9 hours. That's more normal. If you're a teenager, you should be sleeping a little bit more than that. I'd suggest adding like an hour or 2 onto what adults are suggested. Doctors will tell you 10 to 12, but that's unrealistic. I'm not even going to lie to you. If you can sleep 12 hours, well, I don't know what to say. I don't think I've ever slept more than 10 in my life, so credit to you, man. And I hope you actually gained value from this video, because I wanted this video to be more like an informative guide, a little bit like I did with how to speak well, that no BS guide I've created. That I'll also link as the second link for this behind this video, right, in the description. I'll link it as another one just in case you want to learn how to do that. And like I said, I hope you're actually getting value in this video. I tried to make it informative and powerful, and also something that will increase your testosterone, something that will increase your muscle growth, muscle recovery, anything. It will increase all of your reparation. It will make you less unwell. It will make you stronger, fitter, more competent, more energetic. You see the endless positives with good sleep. So I hope this video can provide good sleep to you going forward, my brother. As long as you take action, I guarantee it's inevitable. Take care.